Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Ace here, and in this video, I'm going to be doing a 2-for-1. I'm going to be showing you guys the best way to find a duo for this season and for any other season going forward, plus the best Discord Scrim servers for NA and EU. So let's get right into it, starting with NA. So first things first, these servers have actually been established for quite a long time, so even if you're watching this video down the road, this video still will apply. Plus, all the server invite links will be in the description below. Alright, so the first server we're going to be starting with is NA Opens. So this server was previously known as NA East Open Scrims, but obviously since no more NA East tournaments, then they're now NA. So with this server, anybody is able to join and they consistently host solos and duo scrims. The unfortunate part about these scrims is that they are zone rule customs, but later on we'll get to the server that has better games. But if you're starting out, these are really the best scrims to get into. Plus on NA, this is actually one of the only servers that hosts solos consistently. Sometimes the game quality isn't the best, but that's just because mainly NA scrims are in just absolute shambles right now. But they also do host zone wars if you guys are into that as well. Plus, they host consistent ladders, sometimes even for money. And in these ladders, there's no rules, so anything goes. But if you're mainly here to learn how to find a teammate, this is how you do it. So what happens a lot is that a lot of players will go down here into the looking for players section. Once you go in here, you'll see that there is a lot of people either asking for 1v1s or 2v2s, or people asking to play ranked, etc. But mainly once tournaments are going to be starting up soon, a lot of people are going to be looking for teammates here. So mainly what you want to do is just post looking for duo, and then usually they'll say how much PR they have, but if you guys are just starting out, you don't really need to include that. And then eventually you'll get some DMs asking people to play, and then the best way obviously to pick your teammate is to actually play with them. And you could also obviously go through and DM some people asking who are looking for duos. Also, another way is to join my Discord server. We have some people in here that are actually looking for duos as well. So if you guys want to join and look for some teammates there. Also, I do streams where I play with viewers, and this is where I'm going to be announcing them. But you guys need to remember, the most important part when you're on the duo hunt is to make sure just that the vibes are there. So even if you find somebody who's worse than you, as long as they're willing to grind, I'd say that's way better than somebody who's way better than you. So if you guys stick together and learn, that is just the best way to improve in general. But let's go on to our next server. So server number 2 is going to be KNG Scrims, that were just previously known as Quebec Scrims. So in here, it's very similar to NA Opens. They host solo and duo scrims, but the solo scrims are way more scarce than NA Opens, who host pretty much every day. But I would say in the KNG scrims, they're probably a little bit better for duos. Mainly because they host ranked, which are super stacked, but again, it doesn't have the best quality players. And again, the ladders that are hosted in here are way more frequent than NA Opens, and I'd say they're probably better, even though I haven't really played them in a very long time. Also with KNG is if you do good in their ladders, you can actually get promoted to KNG Alpha, which is supposed to have a lot better players in it. Unfortunately, they haven't ran in the last couple of seasons, but this season they're starting it back up. So if you guys do end up doing good in those ladders, you can get promoted to KNG Alpha, where you can just get better practice. And again, showing you guys how to find a duo in here real quick, all you have to do is from the very top, scroll down, looking for players, and then like I said before, post your looking for duo and all that jazz. So now, the third server of this video. Alright, so this next server is going to be Manuscripts NA Central. This server is very similar to the other ones I've talked about, KNG and NA Opens, but in Manuscripts, they actually don't host any solos at all. I believe they did try hosting solos last season, but it didn't really go too well, so I think they stopped doing that. And also at the time of recording, they haven't started running scrims again yet, but I believe that's just because it's the new season. So by the time you're watching this, they should be running up again. And all the previous servers I mentioned already have been open to anybody to join. And the Manuscripts are very similar, except they're very strict on their rules here, so that means there's a lot less griefers in these lobbies. Which means the games are way more consistent. Where in NA Opens or KNG Scrims, there's usually a time period between when games are good. So when they first start hosting, they're not the best, but in the middle of the day around like dinner time, so around like 5 to like 8 p.m., usually that's when the servers are the best. But in Manu, whenever they're hosting, they have a strict time of when they do everything, so the games are the most consistent there. And another really good thing about Manuscripts is that obviously it's hosted by Manu, who does a lot of third-party tournaments. That means most of these tournaments are hosted in this server here. So if you guys want to play those tournaments, obviously this is where you want to join. And again, if you guys are looking for a duo, all you have to do is scroll all the way down into general category and then looking for players. And then obviously you know the drill by now, type that you're looking for a duo and obviously DM people if you want to do that. So now we're going to go on to another server that's hosted by Manu, but these are the best servers that NA has to offer. Now this server is called Vital Scrims. Now I believe Vital actually does have scrims on, I'm not 100% sure, but it might be every other region, but it's most popular in NA. And this server is where all the pros practice. And what makes this server very special is that you need a certain amount of PR to be able to join in the first place. I believe it is around 1k PR, but it might be adjusted now since the whole NA Centrals switch, so I don't believe they actually changed the rules yet. But like I said, this is the best server to play against people who are actually your own skill level. Again though, since this server is hosted by Manu, they haven't been running recently, but they're going to be starting up again soon, I believe. I believe typically they host around 4 games each session, and they host about 3 sessions per day. And what they'll do is the lobby 1 session will have the best players in it, lobby 2 will have the second best, and then go on from there. So depending on what your role is, depends on how much PR you have, and then from that depends on which lobby you're going to be able to get into first. So overall, this system is just very well made. And these games are the best because this is actually the only server where they don't do any zone rules. The only rules in these servers is that you just can't be too aggressive for no reason, just so the lobbies aren't dead. And the nice thing about this server is that the better you do in these scrims, the higher rank you'll get, which means you can get into better lobbies and then eventually start playing against pro players. And like I said, since this is hosted by Manu, you can actually get into these servers if you don't have enough PR already, just through the Manu scrims. So in the Manu ladder, if you get, I believe, around top 5 or something like that, you'll get invited to Vital Scrims. But unfortunately, you're not going to get any of the good roles just because obviously you got invited from the Manu Scrims. And also, I think if you are in this server, this is the best place to find your teammate, because with these roles here, as you can see, that's the best way you can actually know if somebody's not lying to you or not about how good they actually might be. Like I said here, you scroll down into here and it'll have your own section depending on what rank you are. I'm only contender, so I can only talk to people in the contender ranks. But those who are in champion, masters, and pro can even message in here if they want to look for teammates as well. So like I said, Vital Scrims is by far the best server on NA, but if you guys have any other NA servers, please let me know down below in the comments. But now let's go on to EU. So I first want to say I don't know a whole lot about these EU servers, so I only have 2 of them for you today. Obviously, since I'm NA, I don't really play EU scrims. I have played some actually, but I haven't played a whole bunch. But I have an EU friend who told me that these are the 2 best servers and different things about it. So let's get into our first EU Scrim server. Alright, so the first EU Scrim we're going to be talking about is probably the most well known, and that's going to be Noble Scrims. This one's hosted by Coach Boop, who is a streamer on Twitch if you guys don't know. So in these, they're very similar to like the first ones I was talking about on NA, where there's solos and duos, and also they have a different zero build server if you want to join that as well. And this server is open to everybody to play. And obviously, since EU has a much larger player base than NA, these scrims host pretty much all the time. And with Noble, the better you get, there's different servers you can actually join. I'm not exactly sure what the servers are called, but they're kind of like Vital Scrims, except in different servers, where the better a player is, the higher they'll go up until they're obviously playing with the pros. And here, if you guys are looking for duo again, you go all the way down to like the middle section in chatting and looking for a group, and I don't have to say it, you guys know what to do. Let's go on to our last server of the video. So the last server of the video is going to be Poyo Scrims. And according to my EU friend, these are actually the most stacked scrims in EU. And there are also no zone rule scrims as well. So again, this is open for everybody to play. They host solo sessions, duo sessions, and squad sessions. But it doesn't seem like they really run solos that often, and duos is where they mainly run. And again, since these are no zone rule scrims, obviously the game should be better. And again, like Noble, like I was talking about before, they have different servers depending on how good you are at the game. And the better you do in these beginning servers is the way that you're able to actually rank up to the next ones. And again, to look for duo, you just gotta scroll down a little bit, looking for players, and from there, I don't have to say it again, you guys know the drill. So if you guys found this video helpful, please do leave a like, subscribe, use my code ACE in the item shop, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.